Hey guys, just an update on the Cube Light headlights. I've got my side shooter here, got this mounted, and this is the way I think I'm going to try to do it. We'll see how good it is, but I'm just going to hold it up here roughly in line, which is about the same angle as the brush guard here. And so what I'm trying to do is, because of the angle, I am doing the side shooter actually on what would normally be called the high beam side. And my thinking is to mount it this way because of the angle. What this will allow me to do is, when it's in the vehicle, so it's actually sitting like this. When this comes on, this will shoot out a little bit more light to the side. That's the thinking anyway. We'll see how well it works in practicality. But I've got it mounted up. The other light that I have is a 6-beam, and that'll also just mount just like that. It's going to be tight. The lights will be touching. They'll probably be touching the bracket here. I can always slide it back just a little bit, but it will have nice airflow around the outside to help keep it cool. So that's the plan right now. And just to kind of show you what I've done here. So I've got, and it just struck me, I did not put a washer on here, but basically what I've got here is a nut on the top, and then I've just captured this in between here with a nut, and then this is a nylock right here. So it is nice and tight. I mean, it's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. Of course, once I get it in the vehicle, I'll have to aim it. But that is, it's looking good so far. I am pleased with it. One other note about the wiring. I know the guys over at sidebysideblog.com, who I'm a big fan of, they tried to do this on their X3, and they could only end up doing one light because the built-in relay was not powerful enough to do both high beam and low beam. So they just did one light, left it like that because they were going out to Glamis. But I would like to still have high beam and low beam control. So what I'm going to end up doing is basically coming off of the factory wiring, going into a relay. So I use the relay in line and get direct 12 volt source for my block up here in the hood area, and use that for my wiring so that I don't overload the relay or the switch that comes from the factory. I could always up the fuse level just to see what happens. I could also probably do something with the relay, but this is definitely the safest way to do it, is to use the existing wiring as a trigger. That way also too, completely removable, easy to go back to the OEM. One other note too is I did a previous video, I actually have replaced the bulbs with LED, and they're really good. But I just think this will give me even more light. Not that I really need it. I've got cube lights down here. I've got my big old, I think this was a 42-inch light bar. I have to go back and look and see. And that light bar has both spot and flood. And I've also got lights on the back. So I've got a lot of options there. Also too, I didn't realize it when I bought these brackets. I thought I was getting the bracket only. The brackets actually came with cube lights themselves. So I now have 4 additional cube lights. I'm actually thinking I might mount a set on the back of here. I could also too mount a set down low as well. That's always a possibility. Certainly no rush on it. But anyway, that's where things stand. It's, again, probably going to be a while before I get to the rest of it, just because of other things going on. But that's where things stand right now. And keep watching. Stand by for more videos. And thanks for stopping by the channel. Hey guys, we're out in the garage. Just want to give you an update on what I'm working on here is the Cube Light headlights. I've got the headlights mounted in the brackets. This is passenger side and this is driver side. And you can see I've got my side shooter here. So these will be replacing the OEM headlights. What I found out and you can see how muddy this is after cleaning. I did not pull off the hood when I rinsed everything off. But what I found when we were doing some night riding last night up at Windrock is that one of the main things you get is, number one, the OEM headlights, even the LED headlights, like on Lawson's X3, they are rubbish compared to like a light bar. And you honestly can't have enough light coming out of the machine, particularly out of the front, but also too off the side. So this light bar is really great. You can see on the ends there is flood, and then in the middle these are spot, and then I have 2 floods right here on the front. I also have 2 on the back too, but I don't use those when I'm riding, especially like Lawson was following me. I don't want to blind him. What I've got with these are both spot. So those will be shooting forward when we're doing the night riding. The thinking there is that you obviously just want as much light as possible. The other thing too is I'm hoping with that side shooter I get a little bit of side light coming out from the machine, and then also too I can always aim those lights, so they're not necessarily going to be going absolutely straight, because my light bar really is covering the forward portion anyway. The other thing too is when I bought these brackets, I think I mentioned maybe in another video that the bracket did not come with, or I didn't think it came with lights, but in fact it does. And these are also spots. I've got two pairs of these. So I got 4 of these lights. And I was talking to Lawson about what we might do, and one of the things that we want to have is more light coming from the side of the machine. So one option that I thought of, particularly be easier to wire, is to actually use the factory holes here that normally would hold the seat belt. Since I have my harnesses, I don't use those, but the hole's already here. There's a plate already here. All I've got to do is just mount that up, and just to kind of show you what this would look like, I can put this at an angle and have that shoot basically forward to an area down here. That's one option. It's not necessarily the one I've settled on. Another one is I could actually mount it right here. I wouldn't need to buy any brackets. These brackets would, I believe that bolt would go through there. But I could mount that here. Again, just shooting kind of at a downward angle, wiring just go right back through here. That's another option that's out there. So there's a few different options out there, but honestly, just the more light you can have out of the front of the machine, the absolute better. That's just one of the lessons learned from last night. Don't get me wrong, the lights that I have work great. There's nothing that dictates that I would have to have more light, but the more light, the better is really the golden rule. So that's what we're looking at as a next project, kind of a lesson learned from continuing to do trail rides. There you can also see too my lights there on the back, but that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm kind of hanging things up for the evening. It's New Year's Eve. Hope everyone has a great holiday, and look forward to more videos in the new year. I just hit 500 subscribers. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that as well. And we'll have more videos coming on the installation of these lights, pulling out the existing lights, and also wiring them up. One little note about the wiring. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to relay it, because I want to get direct 12 volts. What I'll probably do is I'm actually kind of maxed out on my block here. I'll probably just come straight off the fuse block that I've got into a new fuse, get direct 12 volt power, and I think what I'm going to do is actually wire these together. So all 4 would come on the same circuit when they get triggered, and the trigger would be the OEM headlight switch over here. I just would not differentiate between high beam and low beam. I just use one position, probably all the way up on the bright setting, just to flip it all the way forward, make it simple. Honestly, for street riding, I can have these pointed down. It's not really a big deal, and I don't really do that much street riding anyway. So that's the thinking right now. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.